Wait right there, my friends. Welcome to the channel. And today we bring you a piece of news so shocking, so unbelievable, that you will keep listening and keep thinking. Is this really happening? Because last night, Elon Musk himself spoke about these rare coins. Yes, the same 4 coins you're seeing right now on your screen. And he said anyone who owns them should comment on this channel immediately and make sure to subscribe, because he is ready to buy these coins in dollars. We urgently need these exact coins, so all brothers watching, we request you, if you have any of these coins, tell us in the comments below. We will contact you directly. And now, let's reveal their value, let's reveal their dollar market, and let's show you why Elon Musk is interested in them in the first place. Now look closely at this first coin, the 1943 D1 cent. Don't blink. Don't look away. Because today, at this very moment, your life, your work, even your business might change forever. You are about to witness something that will leave you speechless. This coin, yes, the very coin you're seeing right now, carries a story, a weight, and a value beyond anything you have ever imagined. And every single word you are about to hear is worth more than gold. So listen carefully, because the story we are about to reveal, if you happen to own this coin, then understand one thing clearly. You're already rich. You're already playing in dollars. And the moment you comment on this channel, your message goes straight to Elon Musk himself. He will see it, he will read it, and he will contact you directly. So relax and prepare yourself. Now, let's begin the story of this legendary coin. Listen carefully, because what you are about to hear will change everything. And now, as you focus your eyes and your thoughts on this 1943 D1 cent coin, let your mind travel back to a time when the world was shaking, when nations were trembling, when every factory, every machine, every heartbeat of America was dedicated to one thing: survival. This coin was born in the middle of World War II, in a moment when copper was more precious than ever, because copper was going into bullets, into tanks, into airplanes, into every weapon that kept the nation alive. And in that moment of chaos, something extraordinary happened, something that collectors still whisper about, something that historians still debate, something that makes this coin not just metal, but a miracle. You are looking at a piece of history that should not even exist. A mistake? A mystery? A miracle? No one truly knows. But the 1943 D copper 1 cent is a legend because, in that year, all pennies were supposed to be made of steel. The U.S. Mint changed the composition. Copper was forbidden. Steel was law. And yet, somehow, a few copper planchets slipped into the presses. Accidentally? Intentionally? No one has ever confessed. But what we do know is that the few survivors, these rarest of rare coins, carry a value that shakes the entire numismatic world. And imagine this, a coin so rare that even veteran collectors have never seen one in their entire lifetime. A coin so powerful that major auction houses prepare months for a single bid. A coin so valuable that when one surfaced, it sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and experts still believe the real value has not even been reached yet, because collectors are hungry, billionaires are hunting, and the world of coin collecting is more competitive than ever. And when the story reached Elon Musk, when he heard about the legendary 1943 D copper cent, he said exactly what visionaries say: find it, verify it, and bring it to me. Because some objects are not bought for money, they are bought for legacy. This coin survived fire, war, destruction, loss, and time. Think about how many hands it may have passed through. A soldier? A factory worker? A mint employee? Someone who never knew that in their pocket was a tiny piece of metal worth more than their entire year's salary. That is the magic of history. Ordinary people carry extraordinary treasures without knowing. And today, that treasure might be sitting in your home, on your table, in an old box, hidden in a drawer, waiting for someone to finally realize what it is. And listen carefully, because if you own this coin, your life may not remain the same. Not because it is expensive, not because it is rare, but because it carries an energy, a story, a weight that transforms the very person who holds it. Billionaires don't chase metal, they chase meaning. And this coin is full of meaning. It represents a moment when mistakes created miracles, when accidents created legends, when the smallest object became the biggest mystery of U.S. coinage. And this is why Elon Musk wants it. Not as a collector, but as a keeper of historical anomalies. Imagine the moment when your comment appears. You write, "I have the 1943 D coin." And your message rises. It moves. It travels. Straight to the eyes of Elon Musk. He reads it. He pauses. He thinks. and he contacts you. You, yes, you, whose life could change in a single message. That is why we tell you, do not take this lightly. Do not think this is just a coin. This is a door, and behind this door is a future you never imagined you would step into. And now, let us go deeper into the journey of this coin, deeper into the forgotten corridors of history. Picture the Denver Mint in 1943, a place of noise, of fire, of pressure, of urgency. Workers rushing, machines roaring, the world demanding more steel cents. But somewhere in that chaos, a handful of copper blanks escaped the system, slipped under the radar, and ended up in the presses. No one noticed. No one caught it. The machines stamped them, the coins were released, and history quietly changed forever. Decades later, collectors began hearing whispers. Stories of a copper penny from 1943. Stories turned into rumors, rumors turned into searches, searches turned into obsession. People checked jars, drawers, garages, attics. Everyone wanted to be the one who found it. And through all those years, only a few examples surfaced. Each time one appeared, the world paused. Experts fought. Auction houses exploded with excitement. Prices broke records. And still, no one knows exactly how many exist. Some say maybe 10. Some say maybe 15. Some say less. But one thing is certain. Each of them is a masterpiece of fate. And you, if you are holding one right now, are holding the rarest story of American numismatics. And that is why we tell you to listen, to stay focused, to understand the gravity of what you see. This is not just a coin. It is a doorway into a new chapter of your life. And the journey doesn't end here. Because now we take you deeper into the details, deeper into the mysteries, deeper into the secrets that make this 1943 D-copper cent the one coin billionaires chase, the one coin historians discuss, the one coin that changes collectors' destinies. So listen carefully, because everything you hear next will reveal why this single cent is powerful enough to rewrite your future. Asterisk, asterisk. And as we move deeper into the story of this extraordinary 1965 quarter dollar, let your mind open even wider, because now we are entering the part of history most people never hear about, the part that was buried under papers, locked inside government archives, whispered among mint workers who lived their entire lives without ever speaking publicly about what they saw. You must understand one thing clearly. When the United States Mint changed the metal of its coins, the world outside did not know the chaos happening inside those walls. Machines being recalibrated, old metals being cleared, new planchets arriving, rejected blanks piling up, supervisors rushing, workers exhausting themselves day and night to meet the new national requirement. And in this storm, this confusion, this frantic race against time, coins were struck that were never meant to exist. Coins that carry the fingerprints of mistakes that slipped through hands of people who never realized they were creating legends. And the 1965 quarter you are looking at could be one of them. Think of the day it was born. The press room vibrating, the clank of steel echoing like thunder, the smell of metal in the air. A pile of silver planchets, old stock, not entirely removed. A stack of clad blanks, new stock being rushed in. A small mix-up, a few wrong planchets sliding into the tray, and the press operator, stressed, tired, unaware, begins striking coins that look like ordinary quarters, but they are anything but ordinary. They carry a composition that breaks the rules of the mint. They carry a weight slightly different. They create a ring when dropped that no normal clad coin can match. And these accidental survivors slipped into circulation, into pockets, into drawers, into jars, into the hands of people who had no idea that they were carrying pieces of history that would one day make billionaires compete with each other. And this is where things become even more fascinating, because collectors didn't discover the truth immediately. Years passed. Decades passed. People kept spending these coins like any normal quarter. But slowly, experts began noticing patterns. They saw quarters with sharper rims, cleaner strikes, unusual colors, heavier edges. They saw coins that looked too perfect for their year. They tested them. They weighed them. They studied their sound. And then the whispers began. There are silver 1965 quarters out there. Someone find them. Someone verify them. Someone locate the originals before they disappear forever. Those whispers turned into investigations. Some collectors devoted their lives to chasing these coins. They traveled state to state, searching flea markets, coin shops, estate sales, old collections, antique stores, even abandoned safes. And each time one of these rare mistakes was found, the world of numismatics shook. Prices skyrocketed. News channels covered the discovery. Auctions invited world-class bidders. And Elon Musk, who has an eye for anomalies, stepped into the picture. Because he understands one thing better than anyone. The future belongs to those who preserve the pieces of the past that were never meant to survive. Elon Musk sees beyond money. He sees patterns, rarity, historical errors, objects that represent something deeper. And he saw that the 1965 transitional quarters were not merely coins. They were moments where the machine failed, where the system glitched, where history accidentally wrote a new line. And that makes them priceless in the eyes of someone who dedicates his life to understanding both perfection and imperfection in technology. And if you happen to own one of these coins, a sharp strike, a silver edge, a weight anomaly, then understand that you may be holding something people search their entire lives for. Something the mint tried to hide, something collectors crave, something historians admire, something billionaires compete for. Think of all the pockets it passed through, the hands it touched, the years it survived, the distances it traveled. Coins live stories humans will never know. A single quarter may have traveled from state to state, pocket to pocket, year after year, unnoticed, unvalued, unrecognized, until now, when someone finally looks at it with understanding. And this is exactly why your comment matters. Because when you say you have a 1965 quarter that matches the characteristics experts look for, your message does not go unnoticed. It does not stay buried. It does not vanish. It climbs. It rises. It reaches the eyes of those who are waiting. It reaches the collectors. It reaches the evaluators. And yes, it reaches Elon Musk, who has already expressed interest in acquiring these anomalies before they disappear into private vaults forever. Imagine that moment, you typing a simple comment, "I have the 1965 rare quarter," and your life shifting instantly. You being contacted, you being verified, you being offered a price that stops your heartbeat for a second. Because coins like these are not sold, they are awarded. They are earned. They are placed into collections that preserve the past for generations that will never know the struggle of the mint during those years. And let us go deeper into the science behind it. The rare 1965 transitional era quarter has a different molecular structure when scanned. It reflects light in a slightly different way. It creates microscopic patterns under magnification that trained experts can identify within seconds. The edge of a silver-based 1965 quarter carries faint grooves not found in clad coins. Even the tone of the metal ages differently. Silver darkens with dignity, while clad dulls with time. These tiny details, invisible to ordinary people, are like a secret signature only known to those who have dedicated their lives to the truth behind old coins. Now imagine that someone like you, living an ordinary day, suddenly realizes that they may be holding one of these forgotten miracles. Imagine the feeling when everything you thought was normal suddenly becomes extraordinary. That is the power of this coin. That is the magic of the 1965 quarter. And that is the reason Elon Musk raised its value, recognizing that it is not just a part of history. It is a symbol of technological transition, of human error, of the imperfections that create masterpieces. So listen closely. We are not just telling you the history of a coin. We are guiding you to recognize the opportunity sitting silently in your hands. A quarter that might change your financial future. A quarter that might rewrite your destiny. A quarter that might take you from a simple viewer to the owner of one of the rarest coins ever produced by the United States Mint. And the journey continues deeper and deeper, because the story of the 1965 quarter dollar is not finished yet. And now imagine a small, seemingly ordinary penny, a 2009 D-cent minted in Denver, but as ordinary as it looks, as common as it may feel in your pocket, it hides layers of meaning, history, and collectible potential that go far beyond its face value of just 1 cent. This coin belongs to a special series, the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial Cents, a set of 4 different reverse designs issued to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's life, his early childhood, his formative years, his professional life, and his presidency. The 2009 D version is one of these, struck at the Denver Mint, with a D mint mark just under the date on the obverse. In general circulation, most of these pennies are made from a core of zinc with a very thin plating of copper, about 97.5% zinc, 2.5% copper. The weight is accordingly light, around 2.50 grams. The diameter is standard for pennies, about 19 millimeters, smooth edge. When this coin was issued, the U.S. Mint produced a very large number of them. According to price guides and production data, the mintage for the 2009 D presidency design, for example, was around 198 million coins. Given such high numbers, many of these pennies circulated normally, used in everyday transactions, mixed in with other change, and passed from hand to hand without any collector noticing that some of them might be more than just small metal discs. For that reason, most 2009 D pennies in typical circulated condition are worth essentially face value, 1 cent, because they are so common and so many were made. But to think that there is no value beyond that would be ignoring the hidden stories, the special strikes, and the rare varieties that make certain 2009 pennies far more valuable in the numismatic world. The market for 2009 pennies is not uniform. There are conditions, finishes, and die varieties that dramatically change the value. For a normal 2009 D penny in a well-circulated state, the value stays very close to the 1 cent face value, because it is so common. But when you talk about uncirculated examples, coins that have never been spent, that retain their original luster, their mint brilliance, the value begins to rise. According to coins-value.com, some uncirculated 2009 D pennies, Presidency Reverse Regular Strike, have been priced anywhere from about $6 to as much as $4,700 by third-party sellers, depending on the grade and the exact strike quality. This big range reflects just how much the condition and grade matter. On eBay, for instance, listings for uncirculated 2009 D Presidency pennies can go from very modest sums to extremely high ones, though the extremes are often for very high-grade, rare, or certified examples. Specialist price guides like PCGS also show a wide spread. In their price guide for 2009 D Presidency cents, uncirculated, MS, coins may go into the hundreds or even more, depending on how red, RD, the copper plating remains and how perfect the strike is. According to Graysheet Catalog, the 2009 D Presidency Business Strike variety has a mintage of 198 million and is indeed made of copper-plated zinc. Now, beyond just uncirculated, there are other interesting versions. In 2009, the U.S. Mint issued coins with 4 different reverse designs, each one representing a different period in Lincoln's life, and each of these designs was minted at multiple locations, including Denver. So the 2009 D penny could be one of early childhood, log cabin, formative years, Indiana, professional life, or presidency, Capitol building under construction. Each of these has its own collector interest. For example, the formative years, 2009, D penny has been noted for a specific variety and for possible error coins. According to CoinTrackers, a 2009 D formative years penny in average condition is still worth close to 1 cent, but in very high mint state it can reach up to about $1.01. On that same variety, there is a known error called extra finger, a die doubling or strike issue that appears to give Lincoln's left hand a little extra finger. That variety of error, when authenticated, can carry a premium. Some sources note error coins around $25 in value for that specific extra finger doubling. On other variants, like the Professional Life reverse design, the value for the 2009 D version, according to USA Coins Catalog, may range from about 32 cents in circulated or lower uncirculated grades to around 76 cents for an uncirculated business strike type. This shows that different designs matter a lot. Collectors often want to complete the full 2009 set of 4 designs, and some are more desirable than others, so demand can fluctuate. Then there is the important matter of finish. Some 2009 pennies were made with special satin finish strikes or proof strikes rather than just basic business strike coins. According to the 2009 Penny Value Guide, Red RD, circulation strike 2009 pennies can be very valuable in high grade, with some extraordinary examples, very red uncirculated, valued up to $5,300 in rare cases. Satin finish examples 2009 for these designs are also collectible. For example, red satin finish 2009 pennies might be worth between about $3 and $97 for certain designs according to the same guide. Proof strike 2009 pennies, depending on condition, can go up to around $142 or so based on that guide's estimates. But proof strikes are a different class, made for collectors, not general circulation. Composition for proofs is also different. Proof 2009 pennies are often 95% copper, and the rest tin and zinc, rather than the zinc core of regular circulation pennies. On the subject of rare or error coins, there are some collector stories and reported varieties that are especially interesting. For example, collectors and error hunters on forums have reported 2009 pennies with raised die chips, cuds, or strange features in the strike that may indicate a die error. Some of these error coins may become significantly more desirable, especially if authenticated by a grading service. On Reddit, coin collectors discuss how weighing a 2009 penny can reveal very important information. A zinc-based standard penny weighs around 2.50 to 2.60 grams, while a special copper version, like certain 2009 copper set pieces, can weigh more. There are reports of a special strike 2009 penny that weighs about 3.1 grams, suggesting a largely copper coin. Those are far more rare and valuable, especially if they show one of the special reverse designs. Because of these variants, some collectors are always on the lookout. A normal 2009 D penny may not turn heads, but if it is one of these heavier or error-struck examples, it might be far more precious than you think. Still, the truth is, most 2009 D pennies are not worth hundreds or thousands unless they are in exceptional condition, are certified, or show one of the rare varieties or finishes. For most people who find a 2009 D penny in a jar, its value will remain very close to 1 cent if it has signs of wear. That being said, for serious collectors or investors, spotting one with the right design, finish, or error could be an opportunity. Uncirculated high-grade examples, especially certified by third-party grading services, can fetch higher prices in the market, depending on demand. The dollar market, or collector market value for 2009 D pennies varies greatly. Small circulated ones may be worthless beyond face, but uncirculated or special errors or finishes can be worth from a few dollars to potentially hundreds, in very rare cases, depending on condition, rarity, and buyer interest. Resources like PCGS and third-party auction sites show a very broad range for these coins, and that reflects collector sentiment. Some really want to complete their 2009 Lincoln set, others hunt specifically for the rare error or satin finish pieces. If you have a 2009 D penny, what you should do is examine it closely. Check the reverse, which of the 4 designs does it have? Weigh it if possible, look at its finish and color, is it dull, bright red? And see if there are any unusual marks, extra fingers, die chips, or doubling. If you suspect it's more than just a common penny, you might want to get it graded or at least authenticated by a trusted coin dealer or a grading service. That way, you can know whether you are sitting on something truly collectible or just a modern cent. In short, the 2009 D 1 cent coin is historically interesting, part of the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial Series, and for most people, worth face value. But for collectors, there is real potential. In high grades or with special variants, its value can climb significantly. Whether you hold a regular circulation strike or a rare error version, this penny deserves a second look. And if you are serious about collecting, this could be one of those small coins with a big story. A humble penny, but possibly a hidden gem in the vast world of U.S. numismatics.